1986 Land Rover Defender. It's the 90 van version. As you can see, it's finished in a lovely red with a gloss black roof and some other gloss black bits. We'll go around and we'll look at the bodywork as we go. I'll point out sort of the upgrades and things that it's had, because as you can see, it doesn't look like your normal 86 Defender. Starting on this front driver's side, there is a bit of cracking in the paintwork on the arches. Normally these are black plastic, but these have been painted body coloured, and as you can see, there's just a little bit of cracking in there. You kind of see that all the time because it is plastic. It just tends to be what happens. A little bit of dust there, that's nothing to worry about. There's no mark there, that's good. It does have a Mantec snorkel fitted. As you can see, it's like a textured black plastic. The wing mirrors look to be pretty new actually, because they're really nice. Around the hinges and everything on this driver's door, they're all good. And it has the tree side slider steps fitted there, painted in a gloss black. While we're from this point, let's pop our head under here and have a good look. Chassis looks lovely and solid, nice and clean. All those arms and everything are nice and fresh looking. There's a bit of mud under here, as you'd expect. It is a Land Rover, but corrosion wise, that chassis looks really good to me. It does have terra firma shocks on the back. And what have we got on the front? Let's see if we can see. I'm gonna have some dodgy camera work here. Yeah, same on the front, and what looks like lifted springs. It does have later model Defender alloy wheels on it with Cooper all-terrain tyres on it, and they look pretty new as well. Actually, there's loads of tread on those. Moving further down this driver's side, you've got a little chip in the paint just here, and again the paint is cracking on these arches. For me, I would just change them back to black plastic. Gets that problem solved really quickly. Another good wheel, another good tyre. Obviously panel van style. Normally these are quite ripply. This is really straight by standard Defender standards. Little dimple here, and that's about it. There's no corrosion on this piece of trim, which is normally where you see them going first, nor on this piece. And then quite often you'll see it on this little bit of trim finisher here where the two panels meet. But again, that's all nice and clean, really good. It's a little bit of a tiny little bit of corrosion just appeared at the very bottom there. And it's obviously been caught on something on the roof. So the roof, like I say, is gloss black, lovely and straight all the way back until you get to this piece here, where you can see there's a bit of a dent, a bit of damage there. It's been caught on something at some point. It does have the light upgrade, so LEDs on the front, which I'll show you in a second, but brake lights, indicators, fog lights, all that kind of jazz. Reversing light on the rear has all been upgraded to LED. Really freshens the back end up. It's got a new spare wheel assembly, which you can see is nice and fresh looking there. And again, it's got another good all-terrain tyre on a steel wheel on the back. This lower half of the chassis section is lovely and clean. There's no marks at all on there, and it doesn't look like it's ever had a tow bar fitted, which is unusual, but good. It does have a diff guard on there. Again, like I say, it's muddy, but as you can see by that rear section of the chassis, lovely and clean, lovely and straight. Going around onto the passenger side, this is all nice and tidy on this piece of trim going all the way up. Thankfully no dents on this side of the roof. And again, this panel van section, there's a little bit of a ding just here. And there is a chip in the paint there, but actually overall, that's pretty straight. A couple of little marks here and there, as you'd expect. I mean, it's an off-road vehicle. Vans were usually working vehicles at some point. And pretty much, it's fair to say on all the arches, there's a bit of cracking all the way around. Another tree slider, nice gloss black, nice and clean. And again, around the hinges on this door, nice and straight. Even the pylons for the wing mirrors are in good nick as well. But as you can see, that door is nice and straight, no real marks or anything to point out there. This side of the roof is really good. Around the windscreen is nice. There's no sign of any corrosion or anything like that. The seal looks to be relatively new. Even down on these vents, where quite often all this can corrode, this is really good. Nothing at all to whinge about. Around the bonnet hinges as well, really nice. A little bit of paint flake on the top, where your windscreen mount is. And then on this front wing, you've got a couple more marks on the arch. Another good wheel and all-terrain Cooper tyre. Have a little look under the chassis from this side as well. As you can see, it's lovely and clean under that. Moving around at the front, you've got this gloss black checker plate on both sides. It looks to have been powder coated. It's in nice condition, that it's not bubbling like quite a lot of it does. And then obviously more importantly around these seams and everything is nice and tidy. It has a TDCI bonnet fitted, so that has this bonnet bulge, which was for the later Puma engine. And like I say, it's had lighting upgrades, so we've got indicators and side lights, and then it's got these projector headlights, which are quite common on upgraded Land Rovers. It does have a huge Rhino winch. It's got free spool, it's got the remote for the plug for the remote, obviously through a proper winch bar. Just nice to see. Sometimes see them mounted to some really ropey bumpers, but that's the proper way to do it. Condition wise, the bonnet, we've got a little bit of lacquer peel here and here. Excuse my fingerprints. They have got some blacked out badges, which is quite a nice touch. But yeah, overall bodywork wise, a couple of little marks here and there, but exactly what you'd expect for something of this age and what it's meant for doing. On the interior, got black door cards. They could do with a good clean, to be fair. Now these have been changed to electric window door cards because we have electric window switches there. So that's a nice little upgrade. Got a nice clean driver's seat. All the paintwork in here is nice and tidy. It's on 130,000 miles. It's 300 TDI, this one. Slightly squeaky boot. And then again in here you've got a set of speakers in the back, but other than that it's ply lined round the outside. That's probably why the outside that's not so dented. And in here is nice and tidy. It's got some vinyl flooring down, which we can lift and have a good look underneath because that is important. As you can see, lovely and dry under there. No sign of any corrosion at all. Yeah, it's been well looked after, this thing. And again in here is nice and clean. Bulkhead is not covered in dents or scrapes, but we wouldn't expect that considering the rest of it. Still squeaky door. And at the passenger side, nice clean door card. Another nice clean seat. Cubby box and everything's nice. Normally these are all chipped on the corners, but actually that's pretty good. Winch remote and everything's in there. Obviously 5-speed manual, diff locks and all that sort of stuff. Now it's got a Sony head unit which goes with those speakers and everything. Because to be fair, the standard one in here was an absolute waste of time. Floors are nice and clean. We've just washed it. There's a little bit of water from where we wiped it down, but other than that, there was no sign of any moisture before we started it this morning. There's no water coming in anywhere that I could tell. All nice and dry. Like I said, we have just given it a good clean off. Under the bonnet, let's have a look. There we go. So like I say, 300 TDI. Happy engine. Really easy to work on these things. Very, very simple. As long as you look after them, they'll look after you. But inner wings, bulkhead, all that sort of stuff, all looks to be nice and solid. Obviously you've got those lifted shocks there that we mentioned earlier on. All good there, there's nothing at all to really point out. We could do with a bit of a detail in the clean, but that's exactly what you'd expect, isn't it? Right, we'll start it up. So 300 TDI. Give it a little flick of the key for some glow plugs. And there we go. Happy enough straight away. Obviously this is stone cold. No sign of any smoke at all there. Really happy little engine. It's always started with us. It was driven here as well, which is always a good sign. So yeah, there you have it. 86 300 TDI, loads of upgrades. If you read the description, we'll detail everything we know about it. Yeah, any more inquiries, please get in touch. Thank you.